because it just doesn't happen that way. Another subject, rumors are escalating that a former Cruiserweight champion may be on his way out, that being Tajiri, due to the fact that he got injured a little bit after he debuted on 205 Live, and I think WWE is really hesitant about keeping him on due to the fact that he is not as young as he used to be back in, 2004, 2005, something like that. But yeah, Tajiri may be on his way out. That sucks because I honestly love Tajiri. I think that he's an amazing athlete, and the fact that they're saying well, he reached that point in time where it's just time to call it quits. I think he's still got a couple good years left in him.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of questioned it when they brought him back. Especially if he was coming off of an injury. The older you get, the harder it is to recover from injury. The more likely you are to get injured again. But yeah, I mean, I'm always one of those guys. I don't want to see people that I loved wrestling when I was younger just wrestle and wrestle and wrestle until they're old and shitty. Undertaker being the last one. I loved Undertaker, don't get me wrong. It was one of the reasons I got into wrestling. Always been one of my favorites. Him and HBK, top two. HBK number one, Undertaker 1B. And I just got so sick and tired of watching him wrestle in his late 40s and now his early 50s. And it's just, he was half the wrestler he was, 10, 15 years ago. And, yeah, we still got some good stuff out of him. But, it's the same thing with Ric Flair. I hated watching him wrestle when he was old as shit. Terry Funk, another one. Terry Funk is still good, but just the older he got, he could just go less and less. Goldberg, definitely didn't like watching him wrestle again. But, so yeah, I'm not a big fan of and I get it. It's wrestling's like a drug. It's hard to just quit.
Right.
It's something you do your whole life. People will never understand the feeling of walking out of a curtain and having thousands and thousands of people scream your name. I've never experienced it, but I've talked to people who have, and they say it is a high that no drug on earth will ever give you. And I can totally see that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, working as an actor for so long and just hearing, people just, cheer for you. You get standing ovations. All the people that come up and compliment you just saying, oh, great job tonight. Or, my kid thought that you were amazing. And, getting pictures, doing autographs, stuff like that. It is one of those things that is very appreciated. Because when you get that kind of appreciation, especially in a match where, it's so high profile and both competitors get, applauded for their efforts. I mean, my God, you and I know that better than anybody. That we've seen wrestlers who have had tremendous matches, and both of them deserved so much due credit. That it definitely.
I feel super stoked. After these point shows, and when people come up to us and shake our hands and say thank you, because we worked our ass off for all three of these point shows, and. The second point show where me and Chris actually got in the ring, and when they announced us when we were coming down the aisle, and there was maybe, 150, 170 people. I mean, it wasn't that big of a draw. Our second show was a bust, and the crowd was loud, and the show was great. We just didn't have the draw we wanted. But so those people cheering when they called out Smart Bunny. And we come out and start walking to the ring and get in the ring, and just those people were cheering. I felt awesome. And at this last show, when they called out Elite Ringside Network as one of the sponsors, and everyone started cheering, that made me feel awesome. So I can only imagine what stepping through a curtain with, anywhere from 10, 15 to 50, 60, 70,000 people at a pay-per-view chanting your name, cheering for you, or booing for you, or getting any kind of reaction. I can't even imagine what that feels like.
Ah, man. Yeah, it's just one of those dreams that maybe we'll never get a chance to realize, but you never know. I mean, for us, men can dream. All right, so last thing I want to talk about before we wrap it up is some of the things that are going on with NXT, because this actually does go into the whole NXT TakeOver Chicago show. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see what happened at last week's episode.
I honestly, dude, I do not keep up with NXT as much as I should. The last couple of months, all I've really watched has been the takeovers.
Fair enough. So I'll kind of fill you in, and I think a lot of people know about this. And for those of you that don't want spoilers, I would probably suggest moving on to the next 5 minutes. So spoilers, 3, 2, 1. All right, so this past week, Bobby Roode came out, and he basically addressed the whole Shinsuke Nakamura farewell address, saying that, the reason why he left was because he was embarrassed to lose to Bobby Roode twice. That drew out Hideo Itami, a.k.a. Kenta, and this was just a beautiful moment. The interaction between Bobby Roode and Hideo Itami was just great. Bobby Roode talked and talked and talked. Hideo Itami said absolutely nothing. Just slapped Bobby Roode across the face. Bobby Roode tried to get a cheap shot in. Hideo Itami hits the GTS on Bobby Roode. Hideo holds the championship above his head, above Bobby Roode, and just throws it at him. Building up Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode. And spoilers for those that don't know, Hideo Itami actually wins a number 1 contendership match, and it will be Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship at TakeOver Chicago. God help me, that is going to be an awesome matchup, because if you thought the matches between Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura were great, I believe that Hideo Itami and Roode are just going to they're not going to tear the roof off. They're going to burn the building to the freaking ground. Are you fucking kidding me? This is just going to be absolutely amazing. And the fact that finally we get to see Hideo Itami in a title match situation, it's like, oh, we've been waiting for this since he came at, I want to say, God, I'm trying to remember, when he first came on. I think it was 3-4 years ago, I want to say. And he's had to deal with injury after injury after injury, which sucks. But now we finally get to see Hideo Itami get into the title situation. It is going to be awesome. And another spoiler for you guys, rematch between DIY and the Authors of Pain has a defeated streak.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Well, I think a lot of people like that. Even Max, who is a big mark for Asuka, is totally okay with that. It's like, I'm trying to remember the comment they made. He says Asuka, gold Asuka-berg or something like that. It's like, yeah, that's Asuka. But yeah, I mean, geez Louise, NXT TakeOver Chicago is going to be can't miss show, obviously. It's like, and we're back on the air once again. We're cutting in and out. We're trying to wrap this up as much as we can. Wednesday, Change the F Up. Day 2 of the Day in the Life of a Cosplayer. Thursday will, of course, be Spark Money Podcast, where I'm guessing you guys are going to talk a lot about ACW, as well as... do you guys have an interview coming up pretty quick, actually?
Actually, Wednesday we will be recording with AC Riley, where we're going to be doing an interview with him.
Oh, okay.
So, that will get posted Wednesday as well. And then Thursday we'll probably cover a little bit of ACW, but we'll probably get into our payback picks.
All right, that'll be that's going to be awesome. And like I said, guys, this upcoming weekend, of course, the Elite Ringside Network Heavyweight Championship, as well as the ER Network X title will be on the line. Chris Lockman will be defending against Spencer Hart, and Mr. AJ Jensen will be challenging Max Beatty. And I'm just going to tell you this right now, AJ, that I talked to Max, and he's planning on holding that title all the way to Survivor Series.
Yeah, well, it's Max. I'm not worried.
Oh man,
he can talk all he wants. He can he can wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which one fills up first. But I was one match away from winning the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. One match. I even if in the the chance that we had a tiebreaker, if it got that way, I would have even won the tiebreaker. So I'm not too worried about Max.
Well, I was always expecting a little bit more of, I guess, a little more smarky attitude, pun intended, considering that you called me a curly-haired weirdo this past weekend. So.
Is that what I said? I thought I called you a curly-haired fuck.
Oh, wait, yeah, it probably was curly-haired fuck. It was curly-haired something, so I just know that. It's like, you just insulted my curly hair, that's about it.
I was just messing with you.
No, I know.
This weekend was a friggin' blast.
Oh, gosh, yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing more shows with you guys, but also, oh, man, I'm going to cover this more in
We're definitely going to the June 2nd show, Anderson versus Sadist.
Oh, God, that's going to be amazing. Yes, I will be there, but I will be talking more about that in the near future, so I'm not going to touch too much base on that because that'll probably be more on my May 1st announcement. Friday, well, actually, sometime this week, I will do an edition of What Did I Just Watch, where I will cover ACW, Water City WrestleCon, give my thoughts on it, but I'm also interested in hearing your guys' thoughts on it as well, so be sure to tune into those episodes, you guys. And of course, this weekend is Payback, so it's going to be it's been a very interesting couple weeks for us on the Elite Ringside Network. I mean, we saw, WPW Boiling Point, which was fantastic, and we saw ACW Water City WrestleCon, which was unforgettable. I would even go as far as saying unbelievable in some parts. I mean, for God's sakes, Mr. Anderson won the main event, which was, honest to God, not even I honestly picked Joey Avalon. I'm thinking, it's going to be Hooker Crooks, it's going to be shenanigans. And then one mic check later, I'm like, oh, well, what next? We get Sadist versus Mr. Anderson. I'm gonna go start digging my grave now because I'm gonna die happy just seeing that matchup.
Anderson going over Joey Avalon was a huge shock to me. I didn't think they would do that, but I mean, I guess.
Hey, we've seen crazier things. We've seen Colin Brooks.
I mean, I guess if he agrees to the dates, go for it because that's going to make a draw.
God,
and
yeah.
Him and Sadist are definitely going to get a draw.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, we've seen crazier things. We've seen Colin Brooks win the, WPW title in a matter of minutes from Adam Grace. So, crazier things have happened. So, gotta love professional wrestling. All right, so, final thoughts, AJ, for Raw reaction?
I mean, Raw was a decent show tonight. It wasn't amazing. I didn't think it sucked. Just, mediocre in the middle.
Yeah. Again, Raw, you need to step it up when it comes to the build-up to big events.
It was just all right, dog.
Yeah.
As Randy Jackson would say.
Yeah, and plus, coming off of two amazing independent shows, Raw and SmackDown definitely have a lot to compensate for. So, in all fairness, yeah. All right, guys, so that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Raw Reaction. Of course, live on Spreaker.com, and you know where to find us for everything else. You can also check out Smart Money Podcasts on their Twitter page at Smart Money, as well as on their Facebook fan page, and also check them up on SoundCloud. They're really awesome. Go check them out. Listen to them. They're worth your time a little bit more than, hearing Spencer in a drunken rant. So, thank you so much, you guys. We will see you next week for another edition of Raw Reaction, and we will talk to you more this week for Elite Ringside Network. Happy Payback Week, and it's going to be a bitch, much like hashtag Suck It Spencer. So, thank you guys so much. Have a good one.